Welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel and share videos with a couple of friends. We're trying to reach 500 subscriptions, and every subscription helps us out. If you haven't heard about the big news this week, James Bond, the Broccoli family has officially sold off their creative rights to Amazon. So it looks like Amazon holds all control over James Bond at this point. Obviously, they already have the back catalog because they acquired MGM, but now they have all creative control as well. So let's read into it a little deeper. Amazon paid Barbara Broccoli over $1 billion to relinquish creative control over the James Bond franchise. If you're wondering how much it took to convince Barbara Broccoli to let go of her beloved Bond family business, how does a cool $1 billion sound via Deadline? On top of that, $1 billion back in 2022, Amazon had originally overpaid its purchase of MGM for $8.5 billion. The hefty sum no doubt spurred by gaining the rights to the 007 franchise. The problem was that Amazon couldn't nab creative control of Bond because Broccoli was micromanaging every step of the creative process, and so it took another $1 billion to get her out of the way. Amazon wanted the whole enchilada, and that comes with the Bond franchise, which spawned over 25 movies totaling $7.6 billion in worldwide receipts. But what most fans fear is that Amazon/MGM will be treating Bond as just content rather than a prestigious movie franchise that has had every detail from martinis to tuxes micromanaged by the Broccolis for the better part of 50 years. It's not like a new Bond movie was in the works anyways. Puck's Matt Maloney confirms that there was nothing Bond-related in series development at Eon. Broccoli had met with actors, but there was never any real movement to cast anyone as the next 007. There was no script, no director, and not even a clear direction as to where to go next with the franchise. In fact, one person who spoke to Barbara recently about Bond said she had been genuinely stumped about how to replace Craig. After 5 creatively and financially successful films together, Broccoli was even questioning how the next iteration of the character should look and act, which is not a good sign of enthusiasm. In all likelihood, Broccoli was worn down not just by Amazon, but by the creative process. According to sources, she believed that she had set the bar too high with 5 successful Daniel Craig movies, which included 2 great Bonds, Casino Royale and Skyfall, and the last installment, No Time to Die, managing to earn an impressive $790 million at the worldwide box office in 2021, just as theaters were reopening from COVID. Although Broccoli will still be getting a percentage in whatever gets released under the Bond name and might remain as creative consultant, this deal is comparable to George Lucas selling Star Wars to Disney for $4 billion and disappearing. No more family control, and big tech taking over a beloved film franchise is now what is going to be in the works. Ladies and gents, what do you think about this news? If you go and look at the catalog from the weeklies that I have put out there, I have talked about James Bond a couple times over the last few months as far as what's going on creatively, the search for a director, obviously the search for someone to play James Bond, and I've also talked about Barbara Broccoli and her struggles with Amazon MGM. So it's just interesting that now it seems she has been bought out. And when I did see this news, without even looking into the details, because this news came out a few days ago, I had already known once Amazon had gained creative control, they bought her out. That's what happened. She definitely wasn't going to just give it up. So I guess the $1 billion was worth it. Once again, this is something where she can get the money. Obviously, there may be some residuals as well. We don't know the details of the deal. Obviously, we're not writing those contracts or setting those deals up, but it seems like she may be getting some residuals per what this article seems to think. She took the $1 billion. Now she doesn't have to worry about trying to overmanage, micromanage. They've done a good job overall with James Bond. James Bond more than likely would not be what it is without the Broccoli. So they have done a good job, but I think when you get into an older age, it gets a lot harder to try and reinvent the wheel. Even though with James Bond, you don't necessarily need to. The character is the character himself. You kind of just have to replace him with someone else. Obviously, keep the quality within the films. Just get people that are competent to work on these projects to keep the quality up. People have their own ideas on the last couple of films. Casino Royale is my favorite out of the Daniel Craig, James Bond films. I could watch that film over and over and over. It never gets old. And I didn't think the other ones were that bad either. I like Spectre. I thought it was cool. I thought even No Time to Die was a pretty decent film, but everybody has their own opinion on it. Ladies and gents, let me know what you think down in the comments about this. Also, go watch those other videos that I made on James Bond. Very informational stuff. I wonder what is going to happen with James Bond. Is James Bond going to be turned into microwave food at this point? TV dinners where you can just pop it in and you get a new James Bond every other year? Is that what's going to happen? Is there going to be a TV show in the works? Are they going to milk James Bond for everything that it has now? We will just have to see, but I want to know what everyone thinks down in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel. Share this video with a couple of friends. Let them know to subscribe to the channel as well. Once you do subscribe, please hit the bell for notifications so you can keep getting cool updates like this from me, Neff. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, be safe. It's Neff signing off.